This fat tire folding electric bike is called the Rattan Pinus, and it comes with a UL rated 2849 battery. Actually, we have two of those batteries. That's what's up here. Peak power is 1200 watts, 750 watts nominal, rated for 400 pounds of payload capacity. Normal list price on this e-bike is $2,099, but as usual, you can get a significant discount on that in the link below this video. But do not buy the Rattan Pinus just yet. We need to review it. So let's take a closer look at it. And since it is a folding e-bike, it can ship in this square box. Looks like they shipped us the blue one. See? Right away we can see it has front suspension. It's gonna have a basic open. Oh no, that's wrong. It's got adjustments on the front fork. And we're gonna be rolling on mag wheels, which are a little bit more durable and heavier than spoke wheels. Rolling on Kenda Crusade Sport wheels. Tires. Of course, the knobby tread, 4 inches wide, 20 inches tall. Looks like that front wheel is bolted on there. No quick release lever. Also another thing to note, we don't have to put the front wheel on. It's already on there. Most of these e-bikes we have to install the front wheel. So it should be a relatively easy build. Of course, folding handlebars. Take a look at them. It's got ergonomic grips bolted in place so they won't rotate on you. There's an 8-speed Shimano shifter. We'll be rolling on Fast Ace hydraulic brakes. Just in the nick of time. We'll have this screen fired up in no time at all. Controls are on the left, thumb throttle is on the left, and underneath we get a USB charger for your cell phone or something. And we've already got this thing mostly assembled already. Dang, dude. Gotta get that tail light on there. I'm digging this blue color. And my goodness, they even have the pedals installed for us. They are folding pedals, folding e-bike. This is where the whole frame snaps together. The standard battery comes mounted in the frame here. And with a set of keys, we can drop it out. Pops right out of the frame just like this. And if you want to run with dual batteries, you put the second one right here. Our second battery is right there in that box. But taking a quick peek at the frame integrated one, we can see it is a 20 amp hour, 960 watt hours of energy, 48 volts nominal voltage, QC passed. Got a little switch down here in case you want to store it long term. Ships about 75% charged. And of course you could charge it either on the bike or off the bike. Here's the charger they give us, branded Rattan. And it's actually a pretty strong charger at 4.5 amps, 20 amp hours divided by 4.5 amps.
Approximately 4.4444
hours to charge from completely empty to completely full. Pretty quick. We'll pop that battery on the Pinus here in a minute. But first, let's take a look back here at the Sunrace M40 derailleur. It is protected by a derailleur guard in case you knock the bike over. And we'll be rolling on a Shimano Hyperglide. Oh no. The derailleur guard actually needs to be bent out a little bit. It's actually blocking the gears from changing right now. I think it was dropped in shipping. We can take a peek down here and see it is a Shimano Hyperglide 8-speed cassette. And for those of you that care, here is the exact stampings on the hub drive motor built into the rear wheel. In case your Pinus comes bent, you just kind of get a wrench on there and pull that out so our Pinus will work once we get outside. That should do it. There we go. Now we can shift our gears. Good job, bro. You saved us. So if you get the single battery one, you're basically done. Just comes with the headlight you got to throw on there. These are kind of optional for the wheels. Some very basic tools. And as I mentioned, I have the 2 battery version. So we'll take a look at this in just a few. We just got to install this thing, which is basically going to double our range because it's another 48 volt, 20 amp hour battery with 960 watt hours of energy. Slightly different shape. And it'll add about 10 pounds, 9 ounces to the bike. Let's see how much the original bike battery weighs. 11 pounds. Let's see how much the bike weighs with no batteries. I weigh 202. When I pick up the bike, that number goes to 272. So about 70 pounds. 70 pounds for just the bike and then about 10 pounds for each battery. So far, my only critique with this bike is the way this light goes on. It's got these like little hooks up here to sit stuff on. And there's these 2 little screws on the back. And the whole thing's supposed to just kind of sit on there and you screw it down. Maybe in theory, but it's a pain putting this light on. So let's pop the battery on there. And fire this thing up. Boom, Rattan. So here's a look at the display. It is color. We can see our watts are displayed right there. Pedal assist mode right here, which we can bump on up to pedal assist 5. Now this bike should have different modes. We can see we're in normal. If we hold down this down button here, sport. So we can go in sport mode and also you can go into eco mode. So we'll leave it on normal for now. And then we can tap through. We see we have odometer, max speed, average speed, time, trip, odometer. So this electric bicycle has turn signals, it appears. Up here on the display, it will actually indicate that the left signal is on, and we can bump it to the right signal. Coming around back, we can see that the left signal does turn on, and so does the right. And we have a brake lever. When I grab the brakes, when I grab the brake lever, it lights this thing up. And we can turn on the lights by holding the plus button, which turns on the light. Look, Mom, no hands. And the light says it is a 1000 lumen light on the website. Lights up my dark apartment here pretty decently well. There's what it looks like from the front. And if you're not happy with the stock settings on this bike, you can hold the plus and minus button to get into the menus. This is a rather nice display, easy to operate. Get on over, take a peek at what the speed limit is set at. 31 miles an hour. 31 is the max. And you can mess with stuff, you know, like the brightness of the display. I want to put it on max, so you can change your mode here as well to sport, eco, and you got the good old factory reset in case you mess stuff up. Units, password, advanced display. What's in advanced? Oh, so you can mess with like the speed sensor and stuff. So this is a torque sensor bike. Oh, and of course, one of the most important things, we get our battery readout in terms of a percent up here on the left. So let's see what it'll do. Pedal assist 5 on sport mode, ready to go. Go. With no load on the motor, it claims we can get up to 30, 39, 39.4. Ain't no way this thing's going 39.7 miles an hour. We'll see though. Throttle being on the left could kind of inhibit you from using your left hand for signals if you're into that thing. And the brakes are fast ace hydraulic. Rotors are slotted. They look like 180s to me. They are indeed 180 millimeter rotors. And taking a look at the Pinus from this angle, same exact thing on the rear. The rear rack gives you something to grab on, see what move this bike around. And to give you an idea of the size of this bike, handlebars on minimum setting, seat on minimum setting. I am 6'5", inseam is 34. Step through frame without the external battery pack mounted makes it super easy to step through this bike. Here's what I look like sitting on this bike on the minimum settings. And with the seat on max, handlebars are also adjustable. Handlebars on max. Here's what I would look like riding the Pinus. But before we ride the Pinus, let's go ahead and throw this battery on there. I actually have no idea what I'm doing, but we'll figure it out. We gotta crack this thing open. Whoa. He's smelling the Pinus. So here's the piece we need to hook up the dual batteries. Pretty much the same thing as the last Rattan bike I reviewed. This one's actually a little bit easier because all you gotta do is reach in the frame here, pull these wires out. I basically just pop this up here, feed that on down. So you just feed that wire on down, unplug the old single battery. Now this guy's got 2 inputs and 1 output to the motor. The fuse side is the output that you plug into here, the controller, and these 2 just go to the 2 batteries. Then all you gotta do is send in the chief electrical engineer and he'll wire it all on up for you. Then you just take this mess and stuff it back up in there. What do you think, bud? Does it look right? Are you almost done? And it's a pretty tight squeeze, but it does work. So let's give it a try. And power it up. Boom, we're in business. All right, dudes, join me for a ride on the Pinus. Of course, we're gonna track our official range on the Strava because we have those dual 48 volt, 20 amp hour battery packs. So of course, the very first test we're gonna do is run it up the 20% grade. We'll switch it on over from normal mode to sport mode. We have it on the top setting, pedal assist 5, throttle only. I weigh 200 pounds. See what kind of torque it gives us. It's showing 999 watts of power and pulling us up to 20% grade. Kind of losing steam a little bit, 765 watts. So as it slows down, it's going to reduce our power to help preserve the motor. Regardless, it did the 20% grade on throttle only. So we'll whip that back around and try out the gears just a little bit here. So give it just a little bit of pedaling here, kind of going up to 20% grade. Oh, so it's actually not giving us full power because I'm not pressing all the way here, but I can smash on the throttle, it'll give us more power. And yeah, pretty strong motor. So as I was pedaling going up to 20% grade, this is a torque sensor. It will give you power based on how hard you're pressing on the pedals. I wasn't giving it like an all-out effort, so that's why I mashed on the throttle. So normal mode, we're gonna put this thing down to pedal assist 1. I'm gonna give it a little bit of throttle to go here and just see what it does here. So takes us up to about 5, 6 miles an hour, 7 miles an hour where it cuts us off. I'm gonna bump it onto pedal assist 2, throttle only. Oh, we are on cruise control actually. So I guess if you hold it down for a second or 2, it's gonna give you a cruise. Tap the brakes. Now we'll try throttle. Oh yeah, that gives us about 1,000 watts there up until it cuts us off right around 15, 16 miles an hour. Actually, let's say 18 miles an hour. And as I mentioned, it is a torque sensor. So let's bring it down a little bit slower here. We're on gear 4 and kind of just, listen to that horse shot. Give it a little bit of pedaling here and So the torque sensors, as I mentioned, they give you power based on how hard you press on the pedals. So on normal mode, let's go ahead and bump that onto pedal assist 3. So I can just pedal like very lightly. We do have a little bit of a squeaky brake on the front. That's just because it's not lined up properly. Hopefully we'll get that bedded in as we go today. Might have to get the wrench out, fix it. But pedal assist 3 here on normal mode, I can just kind of, you know, pedal just a little tiny bit, and you can see it's giving me about 17 watts. Actually, it's 200 watts. Regardless, like, I'm just pedaling lightly and it's giving me like a little bit of power. Let me press a little harder on the pedals though. Now to go about 277 watts of power. And the sun is a little bit bright today. I'm gonna throw on my shades. Can you see the screen through my polarized sunglasses? Dang it, I forgot. This one filters it out completely, so I cannot see that at all with my polarized shades, unfortunately. So normal mode actually keeps it pretty chill. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it on 5. Makes it a pretty rideable bike. It's not like overpowering me or anything. I'm kind of just, you know, giving a little bit of pedaling. It's showing about 70 watts, 90 watts of power with a casual pace. But if I crank it up to the top gear and start pedaling harder, well, in normal mode, it's still giving me about 350 watts. Let's try sport. So while cruising, let's just hold down that. Oh yeah, so it clicks on to sport, and immediately I can tell it's giving just a little bit more power there. Still only 350 watts. Wait, was that placebo? Throttle gives us all the power though. Let's go ahead and put this back. Start from like a stop on sport mode, pedal assist 5. I can just pedal lightly, and yeah, it's giving me power in proportion to how hard I'm pressing, about 200 watts. Feels pretty decently sensitive, torque sensor. But the pedaling will max us out at about 350 watts, which I actually kind of like, because then, you know, I still have access to all the power with the throttle, but this light's red, so let's try the brakes. Friggin' doggy, man, untied my shoe again. Did not even see him do it that time. So on these dual battery bikes, you can actually just run it on single battery. There's a switch for each of them. You could turn this one off. You could turn this one off. So you could like run it down to 0. No, you still have a full one left. I'm just gonna run them both on today. It will draw from both battery equally, so kind of wear them down. They still basically act as one large 40 amp hour battery pack. And that cruise control feature is turned on, which is cool. I'm gonna try and turn it off. In the advanced settings, I can see the slow start is set to 3 and CRU cruise control is set to on. We're gonna just flip that off so I can test it some more today. And let's change that slow start. It is a nice gentle slow start, but let's crank it up from 3 to 4, which is the max. So in the power set you can get in here and mess with, you know, 1 is 50%, 5 is 95%. Like I said, this display is great. Just the one downside is I can't see it through my polarized lenses. I'm not the only one lining up in the fire zone here today. Let's roll. Wait, slow start 4 might have slowed it down actually. I'll have to try that again in a minute. So go ahead and flip on our blinker here because we have a merge on out here in the traffic. We better turn the blinker off. This bike will let us cruise faster than 20 on throttle only. It's saying we're going 37 right now, which I know we're not going that fast. 38, this is not 38 miles an hour, boys and girls. I know what that feels like on an e-bike. That is not this. We'll get the GPS out in a few. So wheel size is set to 28. I think that needs to be bumped down to probably 20 for an accurate speedometer. I don't know if I'm the one that messed that up or if it was like that from the factory. Let's go ahead and try 0 to 20 acceleration. So thumb throttle is on the left, GPS is on the right. Sport mode, pedal assist 5, throttle only, ready, go. $15, $20 probably. GPS is lagging, and so is the onboard. You know, pretty typical 750 watt electric bike performance. All right, so let's give it a high speed run. Full throttle, we'll check the accuracy of the speedometer as well. 16, 20, and throttle works beyond 20. Looks like speedometer is accurate now. 27, 28. Still giving us 700, 800 watts on pedal assist 5, not pedaling at all. And 28 miles an hour. Still pulling 800 watts, it says, passing by the acoustic cycle there. And looks like we're gonna top out right around 28 on this e-bike, which again, that is the maximum legal speed limit of a class 3 electric bicycle where I'm riding. 28 is really all you need. But we're gonna crank that on to pedal assist 5 now and try running up the sand. Whoa, so the shorter wheels, they're wide enough to make it through. Yeah, that's fine. And there is no suspension on this bike, so right here is pretty rough. But you could throw a suspension seat post on this bike. Front suspension is pretty soft. It's actually bottoming out just doing this, but that's on the softest setting. You can kind of dial it up, make it a little more firm. Oh yeah, that's better. Looks like somebody might be getting in trouble over here. Let's go ahead and pop out here on the boardwalk, see how this feels and see how it does riding on the sand. We are on the lowest gear 1, pedal assist 5 in sport mode, full throttle now. It's giving 999 watts of power. And it's starting to slow down a bit. The sand seems a little bit softer than usual. I pedaled just a bit there to keep it rolling. And yeah, 26-inch tall wheels generally do better, and all-wheel drive does better in the sand. This one's lugging along here. I don't think I'm actually gonna run this one all the way down there though. Now, you know what? I think if we get down here closer to the water, we'll be able to carry a bit more speed. So the 4-inch wide tires are definitely necessary to even have a chance riding on the sand. And we're picking up a little bit of speed, hit about 10 miles an hour, chasing these birdies away. Oh gosh, that water is getting darn close. I don't know how well I taped off those connections. And going up this little hill here, yeah. We're gonna have to get off, walk shame. Check out this purple little scooter thing. That thing cooks, man. So we're gonna go running up to the top of that cliff right there. It's 85 feet tall, 12% grade. Push the battery a little bit harder through that, then we'll test the brakes and see what the final range is here shortly. So rolling on in here to the loop-de-loop, pedal assist 5, sport mode. Let's see how it does, going up the hill. So full throttle. I let off there for a second. Lost my balance, but yeah, pulling us right on up this loop-de-loop just fine. Got a little bit of congestion around the corner of the base of the California incline. We're gonna floor it on down the California incline, try not to crash into that wall. We'll test the brakes right before we get to it. Climbing the California incline, we're hitting 10 miles an hour, it says 12, 13, 18, blowing past the acoustic bicycle. Topping out right around 19 miles an hour on the way up, showing 54% on the batteries right now. So let's whip it on down the California incline, then try the brakes at the bottom. So it looks like it's topping us out right around 28, where it cuts power, only giving us 220 watts power and 180 millimeter hydraulic brakes. Yeah, dude, these brakes are strong. We do have a little bit of extra rotational mass on those mag wheels compared to spoke wheels, and the extra battery on here brings a little extra weight, but my goodness, these hydraulic brakes feel really good. The fast ace bringing us to stop fast. So final thoughts on the Rattan Pinus fat tire electric bike. I mean, it's a dual battery, big range, should be big range. We're sitting at 48% right now, which I'm kind of surprised to see it so low so quickly. We'll see what the final voltage is when we get home. We'll switch it over to the voltage on the display. So, you know, I like that you do have the option to either run 1 battery or 2 batteries, so you can decrease the weight, you know, if you don't want to be running a big weight, you know, you're going to be going on a shorter ride. List price on this electric bike is $2,100, but per usual, it's on sale in the link below this video in the description box. So if you do want to grab one, if you bought through that link, of course, it would help support my reviews. And do not forget to use my discount code to give yourself a little bit extra money off as well. I should mention I'm running this battery pretty hard today, doing throttle, not really pedaling much. All right, dudes, so just rolling back into the neighborhood here. 17.5 miles, hour and a half ride time, average speed 12 miles an hour. Pretty normal average route, the tail heavy circuit. The batteries are saying it is 34% right now, and I do believe it is running on dual batteries. We need to verify that. Let's flip that one off. Crap. I've actually not been running this on dual batteries. At some point, I flipped that one to off. So on these dual battery bikes, you can actually just run it on single battery. There's a switch for each of them. You can turn this one off. So we've been running just on the spare. So let's just flip back on this one. And we'll flip this one on as well. And that would explain a lot, because I was wondering why the battery, oh my goodness, that says 99%. Well, that can't be right. Let's give it a little bit of juice here. So that explains a lot. I was a little bit confused. Why was the battery running down so much? We were running on just one of them, duh. Yeah, 53.9 volts on the built-in battery. Then I'm gonna turn on this one, the extra battery, then turn off the built-in one and see what the voltage readout is. 48.2 volts. So this one is 48.2 volts, which is about half charged, and then onboard built-in is fully charged. So really we only use like 25%, 30%-ish roughly of the total battery available today. So I mean, if you're looking for a folding fat tire electric bike with big range, this is certainly an option for you. All around, pretty good performing bike, and if you do want to buy this bike, buy it through the link down below this video in the description box. Of course, that would help support my reviews, and you can give yourself a discount code as well. However, if this is not the kind of electric bicycle you're looking for, watch this video next. Catch you over there.